Hey, welcome to episode 24 of Inches and Cubes, a Warhammer 40,000 podcast brought to you by Encounter Wargaming. Didn't pluralize gaming that time, so I feel accomplished. And today, you're on the guard, son, or ma'am. We're going to be dealing with the Imperial Guard, so that's going to be rad. We'll come back in like one little music break. Bam, ba-dam, dam, dam. All right, this is, again, still Inches and Cubes. I am Paul Mr. Fist Fowler. Over there is...
Point and click Nick.
And we've got...
Adam, the truest axe.
He's back! So we're going to be going through Guard. If you want to go back and listen to our last episode on overcompensating, go ahead. You can click back through. You know how to do that. But before, we're just going to take it right off the top and go with games played. Everybody, hey Nick, you playing any games?
No.
Hey Adam, you playing any games?
No.
Hey Paul, you playing any games?
No.
There we go.
I have a reason.
Oh yeah.
I was on an RV in Halifax.
I was busy. That was my reason.
Yeah, I played a lot of games, so this weekend I didn't play any games.
Yeah, I last 2 weekends ago burned me out a wee bit.
Yeah, and...
Because the next 2 weekends for me are going to be all heresy all the time. So for about 3 weeks I won't be playing any 40k games. Which kind of sucks leading up to the tournament, because I got a couple lists that I want to try out.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll figure it out.
You're going to have fun either way, so.
Oh yeah, I'm so stoked for this heresy event.
What heresy event is that?
It's kind of like what we ran back in July or August. It's like a campaign in a day type thing. Traitors versus Loyalists out in Cambridge. Really looking forward to opening up our gaming group to new heresy players, because we've got a core group and we were talking about it and we're like, we don't want to play each other because we've got about 6 of us from Hogdown who are going. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to play Connor when I go. I play Connor all the time.
Yeah.
I want to play new armies. Apparently they have like a completely different meta. Like they're very focused around building like Death Star units.
Oh, that's not how we do it at all.
No, it's not, because I think like Death Star units are super easy to counter in Heresy, because you've got so much firepower.
Yeah, just kill them. Like, that's...
Well, yeah, a Spartan Death Star unit is the thing to beat.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I think as it stands, my 30k list would have like a bit of a problem with a Spartan.
Or multiple Spartans.
Spartan, yeah, Spartai.
Oh, mine would be so screwed by a Spartan.
Yeah.
But this event did an FAQ, and any model armed with the melta bomb can attack in the fight phase.
Oh,
By fight phase, I mean assault phase.
Yeah. Oh man, so now your breachers like...
Well, everyone's taking assault squads with melta bombs. You have 10 guys that are just throwing melta bombs on a tank.
Yeah, and now like paying 50 points for an entire unit to have melta bombs makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, alright, that's cool. What you got there?
Ghost Train. That's what I summoned. My parents were killed in a train accident, and now I can summon Ghost Trains.
Oh, look, the guy who could summon ghost trains solved a problem with a ghost train.
So this is from...
Ooh, I got a joke. Does it go chugga 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 chugga? Ooh.
Not
boo
boo. Get out!
So this is from Junction Craft Brewing. The Junction is an area where there's lots of trains, apparently, because all of their...
It's called the Junction.
Yeah, it could be a highway.
It's not.
It could be horse track.
Could be. Still not.
Yeah. So this is one of the few breweries in the neighborhood that I've never gone to before Sunday. Unfortunately, it doesn't have anything to read. It just says, learn more about the beer at our website, which we're not going to do.
Yeah, Google it if you're really curious.
It's got an ABV of 6.8 and an IBU of 56.
I must say, since you're jumping into that, because we didn't get to actually review it on air, we'll say.
Oh, Ghost Train's real nice.
Yeah.
I'll buy a ticket. I'll take that ride.
The barrel-aged stout you guys got me?
Yeah.
Delicious.
Oh, God,
It
I'm
was
glad.
fantastic. It was really good.
Indy does some beers so well.
Yeah, and I went back the other day after we got back from Halifax, and I definitely had a pint of that.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Nice. Yeah. Oh man, that's like... It's coming up on the perfect time of the year for that too. Like I like.
It's bitter, but it's not offensive.
Nope.
Yeah.
I quite like it.
All right. Well, so those are our games. Did that real quick.
Yep.
Nick, you got anything on the painting desk?
Yeah, I'm finishing up my Mortis Dread.
Nice.
Yeah, did some detail work on them, getting them prepped for decals, decals, however we want to say it. And then I got to do his base before next Saturday, because he's the addition to my heresy list, because I'm going to run him and a Scorpius, drop a Javelin, and that'll be 2,750 points of evil Emperor's Children.
Oh, nice. So that's what you've been doing?
That's what I've been doing.
I didn't have a ton of progress on the old hobby stuff. I did manage to get a second storm cannon built and magnetized for my Leviathan.
I hate you.
Oh, you're gonna hate it. It's just so good.
I know.
It makes me feel real nice. And yeah, so that was cool. I just like sent the message out to the club, and Chaz had one kicking around. So, ooh, what you opening? You're opening it over your laptop like a psycho.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
So my theme for the night, for me personally, is a Pilsner journey. So I got 2 Pilsners. Going to the classic Steam Whistle, which is local to Toronto.
We're keeping with the train theme.
That's it. There
Yep.
you go. Choo choo. Boop boop.
He's got a thrills for the pills.
And I'll tell you about
Buddy.
the other one later. So Steam Whistle, it's a classic.
Okay.
They do one thing and they do it really, really well.
Yeah, I actually really like their brewery tour.
If you ever want to get drunk for free, go at 6 p.m. on a Friday, because it's when they close, and they're always like, we got to empty this keg before the weekend. So, like, last time I went, they were like, here, have a beer. Here, have another one. Oh, you want another one? Here, we're going to lock up the beer fridge. Here, have another one. Oh, there's still some left in the keg. Do you want an unfiltered one?
It's like, who? Why? That's charming.
I've definitely had multiple similar experiences.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I'm still working on the aggressors, just kind of getting them up to snuff.
You're taking a while on those.
I'm
I'm gonna give you shit for it. You give me shit for the DM Prince.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what? I'll have them finished for our next episode.
Okay.
You hear it now.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
hold 'em to it.
Dreadnought will be finished for the next episode as well.
I said that and then realized that it's my birthday weekend, so like Saturday's gone, and then Sunday's not gonna be a
We
thing.
going for brunch on Sunday?
Nope. I don't know where I'll be.
So what are the consequences if you don't finish it?
I eat them.
You heard it here. Paul is going to eat 3 aggressors
Live on air.
We don't do this live.
We don't?
No.
I guess that makes sense. That's why I edited it. It's probably for the best. Adam, you got anything on the little painting desk right after I open this Bo's lug tread? I mean, it's a lug tread. It's just a delicious beer. You've probably had it. It's a lagered ale. It's good for you and tastes good.
It's fantastic. It's a great Ontario beer.
It's my go-to if I just walk into a bar and I'm like, I don't know what I want. And in my head, when you say beer in Ontario, like this is the pint that you get. That or Creemore. So
Yeah, both good.
Yep.
Yeah. And I love that it's kind of like an oxymoron, a lagered ale, because like I forget which one is which, but a lager, one of them is a top fermenting yeast, and then an ale, the other one is a bottom fermenting yeast. So I don't know how they do the two.
I'm sure we could find out.
Yeah.
Little bits of both.
Probably 2 kinds of yeast.
Yeah, or if they do like 2 stages of fermenting or something, or who knows.
One thing I do love is that they have the ingredients list on the back, and it's local spring water, organic barley and wheat malts, organic hops, brewer's yeast.
There you go.
Done.
Classic 4.
Right, that's the Reinheitsgebot right there.
The what?
The Reinheitsgebot. The German purity law. No, not that one. The one that had to do with beer.
There's not enough beer in this room.
I like that nice frothy head you got going on there too.
Yeah, baby.
Sweet. So yeah, my hobby desk. Okay, you guys ready? It's a long list.
Take your time.
Yeah. So
we got beer.
So first off, I got built and primed, all like fixed up and mold lines off because there's a whole bunch. A gargantuan squig off.
Wonder who that's for.
It was so much fun. Yeah, the model's amazing. It's like a 15-pound solid piece of resin.
how much work did you have to do to to pin stuff and?
So most of it was mold lines, right? Gap filling.
Yeah,
the howdah was the biggest problem with the gaps because the way the pieces attach. But
yeah, and it's probably gotta have huge vents.
The howdah?
Just all of it.
Vents. Only the head did.
Yeah, it took me a second there too.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So vents, just if you don't know, it's just for basically resin squeeze out on your molds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was amazing. So then, for myself personally, I built up another Dark Imperium starter set, got it all primed, and got all of my white done. So 3 layers, 3 colors essentially in my white. So got it all airbrushed, which is pretty sweet.
Question: When will you have it done by?
November 24th.
Damn it!
Is that the tournament date?
Yeah.
So yeah.
The 25th is the tournament date.
25th. So yeah, I'll have it done the day before.
All right. Well, now I need to find out what this thing does.
Which? The repulsor?
Oh, the giant squig up.
Oh.
And the repulsor.
Oh yeah. He wants the giant squig up done by the November 9th or something like that. Yeah, he's going out to an event somewhere.
Oh right, he's going to Warzone Atlanta.
Yeah, but he's definitely bringing the squig off, I bet, to
the
Hogtown. Anyways, so to go with that, a repulsor, which I brought up to the same stage, right, with the airbrush and the building and priming and all that.
Yeah, because, once you're going with the airbrush, you're going with the airbrush.
Yeah, it's factory line for sure. Unit of 3 aggressors, which I'm focusing on getting them done, so they're fully base coated and they're waiting for the oil wash.
Oh.
So I'm working on them at the same time. So we'll see who gets them done first.
All right. I'll go home and work on them tonight.
Yeah, you know what's happening. And what else? So I built a Leviathan Dreadnought, a Dreadnought Drop Pod, a Redemptor Dreadnought, who he's airbrushing everything too.
This is all for you?
Yeah.
He's on the Leviathan train.
Yeah. Dude, it's a really good train to be on. It's like a giant 14 wound monstrosity. I love that model.
Yeah, it's so good in Heresy. I might not use it in 8th just because I like the Redemptor Dreadnoughts. They're just so big and crazy and awesome.
It's funny.
And I did a conversion on it.
Adam!
Is it a 10 out of 10?
No. It's a very simple conversion. I actually didn't even come up with the idea myself. I heard, I think it was Connor mentioned it, taking the Blood Angels sarcophagus cover, the one for the
Chaplain Dreadnought.
Yeah, with the skull head.
No, the Death Guard, the Death Company.
Death Company one. Yeah, and so chopping it all up and fitting because it doesn't just go right on. It's a different shape and everything. Mm-hmm. So I had to chop it all up and mix it together with the original one. And now it's just this big skull looking out the top of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Stealing your ideas, Connor.
Yeah.
Stealing your stolen ideas, Connor.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, no.
Awesome. What else did I do? Man, I did so much stuff. 10 Sisters of Silence, got them built up.
Nice.
Built up and primed to Gilliman.
Wait. Are you running Gilliman?
So my personal one's already built and fully painted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I asked, though. I need you to say it to me.
What if I am?
I need you to.
Is it going to change your list?
No, I'm running the event.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to if you brought it in for the event. You'd lose all your chapter tactics.
Unless I just do Ultramarines.
That's true.
There's probably stuff I'm missing.
He's doing it. That sicko's bringing Gilliman.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun sitting on the RV. I went to the dollar store and bought a serving tray.
Yeah,
and then just sat there with my feet up on the front dash of the RV because it's huge. Like there's so much space. In
I saw that picture.
It's like a boat console.
Yeah,
it's a land boat, you might say.
Yeah,
I would say that.
Yeah, and it was just fun, like taking 3 hours on, 3 hours off, and while I wasn't driving.
Good suspension.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it stayed real steady, drives real smooth.
Not just like, oh, there's my thumb.
Yeah. Well, I did cut myself once, but it was all right. And actually, the funny thing was, I did have to adjust my strategy for building because normally I'll clip out every single piece for like a 10-man squad and lay them out in little piles and then just mold line everything and then glue everything. So I had to like build it like a couple pieces at a time, because there were times where I laid out like 3 models at once, and then we'd turn a corner and they'd all slide into one giant pile.
Well,
Yeah, there goes.
all that work is nothing.
Yeah.
So I looked at the giant squiggle rules. It's disgusting, and I really don't ever want to face it.
Oh man, just tell me about it.
Oh.
If it charges, every unit within 1 inch on a 2+ suffers D6 mortal wounds. It's strength 12 with 8 attacks at AP -4 that does D6 damage.
Oh man.
Yeah, Simon was over last night, and he literally was like, I'm gonna run it like this. And like normally you deploy it and charge it forward, like lengthwise with the head facing forward. He's like, I'm gonna run it this way. Like, you're such a jerk.
I love him. He's gonna lose movement that way.
No, you won't.
Yeah, he will.
No, because you still get your how far does it move?
Oh yeah,
10
that's
inches,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, that
You just gain width.
And it's 350 points and has 35 wounds.
35
And
wounds.
it's toughness 8. So
What's
But
its power
only,
level?
It's only 5.
21.
It's only 5 plus save.
Yeah,
Four
true.
up.
Inbound, sorry. Is it 5 up inbound?
I don't know.
I think it's only 5 up inbound. So the 4 up, like, you get through that. No problems.
Yeah, I think I'd be able to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not super scary. It doesn't have any, like, feel no pain kind of business. So it's not super, super tough. It's just a lot of wounds you have to get through.
Mm-hmm. But I really feel like having that model on the table is going to make someone's, like, Monster Hunter day. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
It's just so cheap.
Yeah.
350.
Yeah.
Well, I guess plus weapons. I don't know what the weapons are.
So the cheapest weapons are, what, the zap guns you can take on?
Or the super lava's. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's terrifying.
Simon, you're a badman.
He really wants that meat.
For those of you that don't know, the Butcher is the pure battle score prize, and Hogtown always gives out just nice meat. Last time, I think we did New York strip loins,
Yeah.
and apparently they were delicious.
And the time before that, we did artisanal sausages from around the corner.
Yeah.
But there's always something good. We got something special planned for this one.
Honestly,
That's going to happen. We're not giving it away on the air.
I'm gonna whoever wins that, I'm gonna coach them.
Okay.
On how to cook it.
On how to cook it, because like that's not a
Is it the, like, cow's heart or whatever?
no. Yes. And like cow heart's hard to cook, my dude.
Simon's picking it up, so if he wants to win it, he knows what he's getting.
There you go.
So yeah, tournament on the 25th of November. Not today.
No. Oh crap! Tomorrow's my dad's birthday. Anyways, by the time you hear this, yesterday will have been my father's birthday.
Happy birthday, Paul's dad.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Warren Fowler. Yeah. So is that all your hobby progress?
I mean, I probably missed something, like I said, but that's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also did like a bunch of bases because I was like bored and watching Fargo. Well, not bored. I was watching Fargo and I was like, I just need to do something while I'm watching TV. So I just like based and
Yeah.
like, painted them.
There you
Got them
go.
done. Yeah. So I think we'll take a short break. Everyone will top up their beers and then we'll come back at you with our main topic.
Battle Brothers Studios, a commission painting service passionate about making your miniatures and your gaming table look great. Our philosophy at Battle Brothers is this: your army is our army. Every model will be something you can be proud to show off. Send us a message on facebook.com/Battle Brothers Studios for a free quote and make that dream project come to life. We also have something special planned for the release of 8th edition of 40K. Right now, get 20% off if you commission us to paint an 8th edition starter set, or get a 10% off Army Bundle bonus for painting up your new 8th edition 40K Army. Inquire with us on Facebook for full details.
Hogtown, Hogtown, Hogtown!
Saturdays at Sword and Board!
Rock and Bloor!
It's behind the pizza.
Oh yeah! Idiots.
And we're back. Connor, Paul is right now busting your balls on our Facebook group chat about you not playing WYSIWYG models, so you know what's coming.
Yep.
We're just giving it to you in real time.
That's right.
So we're going to start off. We're going to kind of do a faction focus and codex review at the same time. So we're going to start off with the fluff. Why are the Guard cool? I think they're cool because they're just regular dudes and ladies in a shitty position in the 40th millennium.
Just doing it hard.
Yeah, because it's somebody like you're on a normal world. It might not be a hive world. It might not be a jungle world. It might just be a cool world where life's good. There's sun. There's water. You have a job. You're happy. You have kids. And all of a sudden it's like,
You're in the Guard, son.
you're the Guard, son.
Yep. Do you want to die in a strange place, face down in alien mud? No, sir. I didn't hear you.
Yeah. And they just deal with it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that, especially reading through all the fluff in the codex, it's just like the 40k mentality, how it works on the everyman. It's just like, well, I guess we just gotta do this now. It's an entire army filled with people saying, what now? And then kind of spit into the dirt while the sky's on fire. Like, they're just regular people. Like, sure, some are nobles, some aren't, some are gangers. It's a lint trap of society that now has to fight the Lovecraftian nightmares beyond the stars. Good luck out there, guys.
And each other.
And each other.
And the Inquisition.
But yeah, they're cool. I know that you have a Guard army, Adam.
I have a Guard army currently.
And
I used to have a Guard army back in the day when those new plastic cadges came out.
I also had a mixed regiment of Mordians and Catagens, and I absolutely loved them. I painted them like in naval dress, so it was like
Nice.
blue smock, white pants, gloves. And then my friend convinced me, he was like, no, do them like just drab gray, paint them over. And I did it, and I was like, why on earth did I do that? So I'll...
The Catechins and Mordian mix is kind of funny because they're so opposite, right? Like Death World, like running through the jungles, and the Mordians are so clean cut.
Oh, yeah. And like, that was something that I liked as a kid. One of the first models that I bought from, oh man, I can't remember the name of the store in Corner Brook, Newfoundland. One of the first models I bought was Commissary Eric, the old one with the big like crab claw.
Yes.
And I still got him kicking around somewhere. I think I might like take a day and just do like a fun paint on him, like just do up that model right.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I still have him.
No, yeah, I got him kicking around. I think his banner pole's broken, but it was so weird that every model had a banner pole back then.
Yeah. No, but they've always been cool. I mean, they're kind of like orcs in the sense of like you need to buy 100 models. Like the Lehman Russ is like the most iconic tank. It's a cool tank.
I got some really cool stuff.
And now they have what I think is possibly one of the strongest codexes so far in 8th edition.
And fun.
Yeah, like it's characterful.
Oh yeah, it is gunliney because it's Guard. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They set up their World War I army.
Well, again, and I think we mentioned this on the podcast. Like the joke is any army that uses World War I tactics wins. Any unit that uses very modern, like sensible tactics loses. So the Death Corps always win. The Elysians always lose. Like there's no Forge World book where the Elysians win, and the Death Corps of Krieg, they sort of always don't care. So
Well, they're not people.
they're sort of people.
They're not people.
Sort of people.
Clones aren't people.
I mean,
Are they clones?
yeah, and like in 40k,
Just blew my mind.
there's
You
like
can't be giving clones rights, okay?
whoa.
Oh.
There's a thing in 40k that like clones don't have souls or something like that, and that's why they just have like bad luck. Like clones just constantly die. Someone explained that to me.
I like that.
So I don't know if it's canon, but it was just one of these things where they were like, oh yeah, no, like their warp signature's weird, so it's just like bad luck always happens to clones.
Do you want to hear a ridiculous piece of fluff from the Star Wars universe?
I do. We can take that aside.
Okay, we're going to take this aside. There's a species called, like, the Ansari, that are like they look like humans, but they feed off of other creatures like passive force luck. They feed off metachlorians.
Ugh.
But there's like passive metachlorians and active metachlorians because Star Wars universe is messed up. So Han Solo apparently has the most luck in the galaxy. And all of these creatures want to eat him.
That's really funny.
And that's why he is awesome.
Yeah, that's
Because
why
he's just really lucky. Because remember that time he ran into an entire hangar full of stormtroopers?
Yeah.
and they ran. Yeah, he just ran away from them.
Yeah.
Oh!
Well, that's excellent. So yeah, we've all had our experiences with Guard. They're the everyman. They're just a dude trying his best, usually with a bayonet.
And I think they just represent like the worst of humanity. Like, and they really get into like the World War I vibe, right? Where it's like, you don't matter.
Yep.
Like it's the kill tally, right? Like it's how Vietnam was fought, right? Like we're killing more of them than they're killing us.
It's like
that's not how you win a war.
that you know that just starts to sound psychotic, right? Yeah, but it's cool. Also, if you're a treadhead, this is the army for you too. You can get so many tanks in an army, and yeah, it's really characterful. You can have a lot of fun, and I think like the GW did a great job with this codex, just throwing in one page of converted models that just made my spirit sing. Where they were just like, you know what, this is a hobby, like do it cool.
Yeah, they have been shying away from that recently, where they're like, here's just stock everything.
Yeah, here's how it comes in the package.
Well, because they've always done that in the codexes, right? Where they're like, here's a piece of art for this thing. And like the one, you're going to talk about these guys, right?
Yeah.
The Ventrilian nobles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because like you saw this and you're like, that's cool. And then there's an actual converted army later on in the book that looks exactly like the art piece.
Yeah, that's so much fun. And they did that, I remember, when I got started in the 3rd edition codex. There was this big like splash page of a battlefield that one of the studio guys made and a bunch of conversions that people were doing with like sawing off the pewter heads of Mordians and putting them on Catechins or putting them on Cadians. So it was like a guy in like the big armor just with a peak cap. And sure, that was like probably 10 minutes of work for every guy, but it looked so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just think that it's an army that can be very rewarding to a modeler if you want to go that route, or it can be very rewarding to someone who likes to just put out a ton of hurt on the tabletop.
Yeah, because I've seen people do like World War II miniature quality Leman Russ battle tanks, right? With like the full tank kit. So you've got the pillows, the toolkit, all of the ropes, the winches, the weathering, the battle damage, the like World War II style German or Soviet camouflage tank paint. Just so much effort that just makes it look like one of the most hyper realistic armies out there.
Yeah, and like that's something that anytime I see someone do an army like that, my hat goes off to them. Like, you use so many cool techniques to get that army looking the way you want. Like, that's where I got the idea for like salt masking on a couple of things, and I didn't quite get it right because I don't have an airbrush. But
your breachers look great.
Yeah, they look really good.
Just be modest.
Yeah. No, I am modest about some things that I should be modest about, but like my accomplishments, such as they are, I'm pretty proud of.
Calm down, it's okay.
You want to go, man?
Sure.
Oh, I don't.
Get pizza?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So. Oh my god.
Ooh, what do you got?
Let me break the tension in the room. So here's my second Pilsner. This is called Polly Want a Pilsner? I got this funny
I do.
green parrot in a suit.
I'm a green parrot.
Adam's Pills, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is from Hop City Brewery, which is in Brampton, I believe. Anyways, here we go. Crackers are out and Pilsners are in. But our Pils isn't your ordinary Pils. Ours takes the best of German and Czech styles and blends together with a brew worthy of any talking bird floral and spicy. Crisp and refreshing. Polly definitely wants this Pilsner.
I do want it. Polly does want it.
Here, take a sip,
Polly
Polly.
wants the first sip of this one. Oh, that's nice.
There you go.
That's clever.
There you go.
It was a clever beer.
And is it actually a hoppy for a Hop City beer?
Not really.
Oh, there you go.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't expect a Pilsner to be, but...
No.
Anyways, continuing on.
Continuing.
So you got some battles for us, Paul? You got some battles?
Yeah, do you want to hear about some... So, like we like to do, we're going to kind of outline what the Guard have been up to since 8th edition came in. And everybody knows by now, Cadia's gone. R.I.P. Cadia. Rip in peace. The Abaddon got it done.
Yeah, he literally ripped the planet in two.
Yeah, it's...
With a Blackstone Fortress.
Yeah, so he crashed one of the most powerful weapons in the entire galaxy into one of the most important planets in the entire galaxy. He's a man of vision, at the very least. We can say that. The Imperial Guard have been tied up in tons of really iconic planets throughout the 40k universe, like Armageddon. And, so the Steel Legion have come from Armageddon. We'll talk about those a little bit. Nick, you just opened a beer.
I did. So it's still October.
Yes, it is.
Spooky.
Which means that it's still kind of Oktoberfest. So this is a Schnellbahn Fest beer
Sure it is.
from Junction Craft Brewery. Again, learn more about this beer online.
Oh, they just take all the fun out of the podcast.
They do. It's like they don't care about us at all.
So this is just a fantastic German-style beer. It's flavorful.
Look how dark that is. Nice and caramelly.
Well, I mean, of course it's dark. You're drinking Pilsners right now.
Well, I just didn't expect it from a...
Oh, that is a
beer.
handsome color of a beer. It reminds me of the fatigues of a man from Armageddon. So, yeah, Armageddon, it's been the site of 3...
Eleanor?
Eleanor. It was then transported by the Mechanicum. Teleported, yeah. So, God only knows what that would do to, like, the gravity and the orbits of planets and systems. They didn't get into it, and I don't think they're going to because it's a game. But now what's happening on Armageddon is the orcs they're there. Like you can't get them out.
Everybody's there. There's demons there.
Well,
there's the Necrons there.
Well, the demons.
Gene Stealers in the jungle.
So the demons they really start to take hold right now. And through a bunch of the planetary defense forces, the Steel Legion, and the Salamanders, and 9 other Adeptus Astartes chapters, they halt a ritual that would have brought Angron back into real space, which he was...
That's bad.
That's super bad.
That is a guy you don't want to invite to your party.
No, and Armageddon was where he was banished the last time.
You know those bros who wear muscle shirts everywhere?
Uh-huh.
Imagine one of those with nails in his head.
Demon nails now. Armageddon, that's been moved forward. There's a really cool one here, and it's a battle group en route to Warzone Ultramar to quell a massive Gene Stealer uprising on this garden planet. Once they get there, it's so jam-packed with mutants and Gene Stealer sympathizers that it's all-out war.
Gene Stealer sympathizers.
Well, I mean, they're all
fellow travelers.
Gene Stealers are people too,
Well, I just love that all the Gene Stealer stuff. It's this is just communism. This is a worker uprising.
Yeah.
Better shut that down.
Yep.
So the they're fighting on this planet, and then the regiment gets an order from the Ordo Xenos. It's you gotta pull out because High Fleet, Jormungandr. Oh god, that's awful. So yeah,
I think that's a Norse.
It's one of the end times creatures, I think.
Yeah.
We'll look it up. But yeah, so they know that a tendril of that Hive fleet is on its way to this planet. So the Catachans that get stranded on the planet, they're well, I guess we got to make the best of this, and they just burn the planet to the ground. So they ruin the biomass on the planet. It's a couple of months that they're doing this, and once the Hive fleet gets there, it's just a handful of Catachans to eat, and so it's a Pyrrhic victory where they starved this hive fleet so it didn't have that biomass to make itself even more powerful. And I think that really gets to the idea of a guardsman where it's like, you are going to die. This is where you die. But what kind of good can you do while you're here?
Mm-hmm.
So
I love this. You're explaining the story before we started, and I was like, yeah, this is classic.
Yeah, like, and there was this, like, piece of fiction that was, like, published in White Dwarf, like, a bunch of years ago. It was, like, a 2 or 3 piece short story about what it's like to be a guardsman when the Tyranids come to town. It's terrifying. I'll see if I can find the name of it someday. And then the last thing that they kind of mention... Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to jump back to the Wages of War. And this is a fight where the Talarian Desert Raiders and the Grey Knights team up to deal with a Nurgle incursion. So the Grey Knights are instructing the Talarian. They're like, listen, never advance towards Nurgle. Like, don't do it. It's bad. When your guys die, you take them off the battlefield. Like, and eventually, like, through this coaching, they manage to starve the Nurgle host of, like, fresh zombies. And then at the end, after they, like, manage to whittle this down, the Grey Knights finish it off. The Grey Knights are so impressed that they carve the names of all the guys that they have to execute because they saw Nurgle into their armor. So again, that's what it's like to fight alongside the Grey Knights when you're a poor Imperial Guardsman. Like, they're like, good job, stab.
Now you're dead.
Yeah, so they've all been put to death. And then they have this cool little call out just about how Cadia, it's raised the most regiments of any planet. Kind of, that's understood. That's their explanation for why these models are so ubiquitous. And it's really cool. There's this idea that Cadia stands, and as long as there's one standing Cadian, there is Cadia. And like, I like that. That is a very hoorah, we're in the army now kind of feeling. But I mean, if you're playing guard, that's what you're into. So Cadia stands, I guess,
isn't there something that they're trying to do with even the halves of the planet, because it's just like split in two?
Probably.
Yeah. They're like trying to like even just keep the integrity of those halves so they can still say like, I can't remember exactly, but
yeah, I didn't do a lot of research for this episode.
Just so you guys know, we show up like half an hour before.
Yeah,
drink some beer, read the codex, and go to town on the podcast.
And get doing it. We could stay here all day talking about cool battles that the Imperial Guard have been in. But I think I mentioned earlier that GW like threw in a bunch of new regiments that have been converted, and luckily for us, they also gave us fluff on some of these regiments.
Yeah, because I remember, I think it was the 5th edition codex. These guys were in there back when you could like make your own doctrines.
Yep.
And they had a little bit of fluff on these guys, but not too much. So now they've really expanded on it. So first of all, I'm just going to briefly mention the Tanith First and Only from the Gaunt's Ghost series. They're in here. They're cool. They're badass. They're just Scottish Highlanders with sniper rifles.
He says just.
I mean, that's what they are. They're super cool. Although I don't know how a straight silver war knife is handy, because silver is a very malleable metal, so I wouldn't really want that as a knife.
Killing vampires, yo.
Yeah. Space.
And changelings.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
Werewolves. And Wendigos?
No. Regular people. Like, that's also, if I step...
The worst monsters are regular people.
Oh, look, you're like every second Twilight Zone episode. Check it out.
Okay, I'm glad you said zone.
Twilight, yeah. No, sorry. You guys deserve better than what I am.
My favorite regiment, called the Savlar Chemdogs.
So cool.
So these are scavengers and criminals from the scum world of Savlar. I love how scum world is an actual imperial designation.
It totally would be.
So these guys have been recruited, conscripted, to serve on Armageddon. They're motivated by loot they might be able to recover, and they excel in cramped, noxious battlefields of the hives. All of their equipment is stolen from other regiments, and much of their courage comes from the use of nitrochem inhalers, without which they would likely flee in terror from the demons that now haunt the ash wastes and underhives. And these guys look really messed up.
Yeah, they look like bad guys.
So they're really resourceful, very enterprising. They don't really get a lot of battlefield resupplies, and they repurpose old equipment. They strip down weapons from vehicles and proceed on foot when fuel is low, and replace broken machine parts with similarly shaped pieces of scrap metal. And though this is effective, more than a few Savlar officers have been executed for heresy by the Adeptus Mechanicus. Although I don't know what authority the Adeptus Mechanicus has over the Imperial Guard.
I feel like I could walk in and be like, I'm here to execute a few Imperial Guardsmen, and no one would even bat an eye, you know? Like, they would be like, get in line. It's busy today.
Yeah.
A lot of people have come here executing people.
Yeah, that's a fun unit. I just love the idea of chem inhalers.
Yeah, just getting juiced.
Yeah.
Do it.
Adam, what's
All right, I'm going to highlight two regiments that I thought were kind of fun and had funny stories. So the first one is the Indigan Prefects.
Yeah.
This is just like...
It's a menagerie world?
Yeah. So, and the governor just had this fetish with collecting like crazy weird monsters from all sorts of planets in the galaxy. And so he just like created these zoos with all these crazy monsters. And then one day there was this giant earthquake, and all the monsters got loose around the whole entire planet and started like interbreeding and like mating and stuff. And
Because
just
that happens. Ligers don't happen in nature.
they only happen on Indigan.
This is another character played by Vincent Price just being like, I didn't know what I was doing. And then there's monsters.
Did you look up Vincent Price?
No,
Of course he didn't.
What in the last 5 seconds?
Doesn't remember?
No. We wipe his mind after every episode.
Anyways, and then so now they're really good at killing monsters because that's just what they've had to do for a long time to reclaim their.
I love how
own
there's no
planet.
explanation. It's not like, then they killed the monsters. It's just like, monsters escaped. Now they're good at killing monsters.
It's so modest. The one that I'm going to call out is Armageddon Orc Hunters. So
The Pikers.
Stop pikers, indeed. So the idea is these are just people that hunt down orcs on Armageddon, and they're pretty rad. I love the fact that the exemplar that they have, like the piece of art, is a lady, and they don't make it a lady regiment. It's just some people are women and kill tons of orcs, and that's pretty rad. So now they're also killing demons and stuff as the Savlar Chem Dogs.
They've been this is the one we were talking about, where they ally with the demons. With the
orcs.
With the orcs against the demons.
Yeah, because they're the only people that the orcs would respect because they've killed so many orcs.
I love orcs.
Yeah, they're like, holy crap, you guys are really good at killing stuff. And they're like, we killed a lot of you. It's like, would you like to kill these other things? It's like, yes, we would. We're going to kill you after. And they're like, fair. That was our plan too. And
that was the exact conversation.
definitely. But I just also like the fact that it winks towards the idea that, yeah, you could do a regiment that comes from a planet that we know, and you can do it whatever way you like. You don't have to stick to the models as they come out of the box. That's something that tickles my fancy. Adam, did you have another one you wanted to do?
Yes, and actually there was one story about these Indigan guys that I forgot to tell, and they train their people how to best fight some monsters. So like blast cannons, they're for carnifexes. Malalox, just everybody stand on the hole.
Just bait them.
Oh man. Anyways, yeah.
Life is cheap, man.
Life is so cheap.
Yeah, but killing a Malaloc lasts for minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, the Mordant Acid Dogs. I love the picture of this dude because it's like this combination of Acadian with a Catachin guy, just like this very standard issue type Cadian helmet, but then he's got these bare arms, like just muscle ready, like yeah.
He's been pumping iron.
Just a beefcake.
Yeah. And kind of like a longer stock issue last rifle, like not as kind of stubby as they are. Anyways, very slick looking dudes. And so this whole thing is they're kind of So they come from this planet where they like harvest bacteria and turn it into acid that can be used for various things. But then as a result,
Drugs?
Well, so as a result of this being such a rampant thing on this planet that they're from, there's tons of mutations that started happening, because they didn't expect that. And now they're like, they just hate any mutations, and any time they crop up, they just like murder those people.
Yikes.
And they're just ruthless. It's a sad story because they kill mutant babies.
Oh, it's like Sparta.
But anyway, the picture of the dude just looks super cool. So that's why I want to talk about him.
Nick, did you want to take us through one, and then I'll do one more?
No, I've already taken us through one.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna just give a brief shout out to the Miasman Red Cows. So they're a regiment that's just like super good at using flame weapons, and they use like a special promethium substitution that burns hotter but stinks.
You know what's messed up about promethium?
What's that?
Do you know what its chemical properties are?
It burns in space.
No. It burns on contact with oxygen.
Oh, nuts!
Like it doesn't need a pilot light.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's just like you turn on a hose
and fire comes
Fire
out. It's a bottle of fire. But the idea is you take these guys, you put them on the front line, but you don't use them in any high-value worlds because they just burn everything down.
So they're burner boys.
Yeah, they're human burner boys.
And the model for these dudes looks super cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
they're super super sinister looking, and that's something that I really like that they did here. Is just made some of the regiments look a little spooky.
Those are definitely Gene Stealer cult models.
The legs and stuff for me.
Yeah, they gotta be with those. I've never seen a guardsman with like the cloak.
Yeah,
They have a long jacket.
And there's a lot of the ones that you mentioned. They have the Ranger helmets, not the Ranger helmets, the Skitarii helmets.
Yeah.
It looks super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's some of the fluff that's happening. What do we want to do now?
Let's get into how they function as an army. So they are the hammer of the Emperor. Bang, bang, bang. Putting out a lot of shots. They're hitting slightly more often than orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, with what we're about to talk about, they hit a lot more often than orcs.
Oof. Orcs, you need that codex.
They have super heavies out the wazoo. Some of the best. You guys complain about the falchion. These guys got a shadow sword in their codex.
I know.
They got a volcano cannon, stock codex style. So some of their classic stuff that comes from last edition are orders, which are way better now. They happen automatically. And we did the math, and it's possible for a Cadian officer to put out possibly 10 orders in a turn within 6 inches of him.
Yeah, and that's like ideal conditions.
We'll get into that in a second. But you've got orders, so you've got officers telling people what to do, which is everything from re-rolling ones to hit, quadrupling the shots of lasguns.
That's nuts.
Firing after somebody fell back, and fighting in the movement phase as if it was the fight phase.
That's crazy.
Although I don't like fix bayonets. You don't fix bayonets once you're already in combat.
You would have done that.
You would have done that, and now you're dead because you're not going to pull out your bayonet and put it on your lasgun.
No, you're just going to pull out your bayonet and put it in some dude, some orc.
Exactly. So that's orders. There's also regiments now, which are just doctrines similar to Legion tactics or chapter tactics, which is pretty awesome. And one of the biggest thing that came out of the new codex is grinding advance.
What's grinding advance?
So, Lemurus battle tanks are the mainstay of any Imperial Guard army. You're going to be including at least one. If you're including not 3, you're doing something wrong. So grinding advance is you don't suffer penalties to hit rolls for the model's turret weapon when you move.
That's nuts.
And that model's turret weapon can fire twice at the same target if it moves under half its move characteristic.
That's crazy.
So that's a Punisher Gatling cannon firing 40 times.
Oof.
Hitting on 4 is probably... hitting on 2s or 3s with a tank commander.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a special rule they have?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I
read that and I was like, what?
I love watching Adam get woke about like the injustices that make me angry in 40K.
So yeah, they're super good. Orders are going to be super important. Most lists that I've seen have at least 4 guys that can issue at least 1 order, maybe 2. Kill characters when you're fighting guard because they tend to fall apart really quickly once you get rid of those leadership buffs.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of leadership buffs, one last thing: there's no new units. Kind of a bummer going into 8th.
Yeah, but like, what would you add? Well, there's one new unit, the Ogren Bodyguard, that wasn't in the Codex before.
They're just Ogrens.
Yeah,
That's fair.
but it's
Yeah.
a new unit.
Paul, why don't you tell us about the about Stalin's wet dream, no step backwards guys?
Well, those are commissars, and commissars are taken from the same sort of recruitment process as stormtroopers. So they're taken out of the orphanages of the Imperium because they want them to have as little ties to humanity as possible. Because what they do on the battlefield is kill people until morale improves. And by people, I mean people on his side.
So let's say the saying: executions will
Will
continue
until morale improves. One of my favorite things to say when commissars come up in conversation, but they're just a regular, commissar, regular guardsman stat line
with 4 wounds
with 4
and
wounds,
3 attacks
3 attacks,
and leadership 9.
Well, this is what it's getting to. There's the exceptions. The leadership 9 is important because anyone within 6 inches can use that leadership. Now, if that leadership fails them, there's a rule called summary execution, which you kill a guy and you can now re-roll your morale test.
And I'd like to point out that this is a great opportunity to comment on Games Workshop's brand new instant fixes to broken rules.
Yeah.
So in the codex that we're looking at right now, summary execution is Astra Militarum units within 6 inches can never lose more than 1 model as a result of any failed morale test.
And that functions too powerfully.
So within 1 week, they changed that to Astra Militarum units within 6 inches of a friendly commissar can re-roll failed morale tests.
Yeah.
Big
Or
difference.
must re-roll. But here's the thing, is that the only downside to that is that
If you lose 1 guy, there's a potential to lose 2.
it's so even you're basically losing another guy, right? Like, no matter what, if you're going to automatically fail a morale test, you still have to roll, and because you failed it, you still have to re-roll it, and to pay for that re-roll, you have to kill a guy.
Yeah, but I mean that's sort of the thing about giving a blob of conscripts leadership 9 all of a sudden.
Yep.
When it goes south, it should go south. It should just be the commissar like,
They're running and he's like, guys, stay, bang.
I can't. I don't know what to do. I tried shooting them. I tried stabbing them, and they don't seem to respect me.
And that's how it should work,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It should be hard to keep these guys on the front line, right?
And
Not easy.
Leadership 9 is higher than a Space Marine.
Yeah, by
So-
2.
Yeah, so a commissar standing behind a bunch of guys makes him pretty friggin' ballsy.
yeah, and
But when 10 of your buddies die, you should get a little bit rattled, right?
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's a really smart change to that rule.
It was
And
within a week.
yeah, and so agile. I think they must have known that.
Was that the same rule as in the index?
No, the index was the same as this, as the codex.
So
Right.
they had,
So they
the
did have
chain.
more time then.
but
It was more than a week.
yeah, but still they did it, and we're proud of you. We're proud of you, G-Dubs.
It was actually probably a week later because they realized it was a problem when the index came out, and they already had the codexes printed,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to make the change and then release the codex and have everyone be like,
Well, to be fair, we also had a funny incident in the last 2 days about issues with codexes and
yeah.
missing rules and
Let's not get into
war gear. That's not on you, buddy. That was a perfectly honest
We don't need to get into this.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so do you have a unit that you want to talk about? Anybody else?
I want to talk about the Untermenschen, or possibly the Ubermenschen, however you want to look at them. The Ogrins. They're literally called subhumans.
Yeah.
Or abhumans.
Is that
Abhumans.
Is that a keyword?
No, it's not. But they've always been called abhumans.
Yeah.
They're auxilia because they're not humans.
But
So-
because while the Imperium hates mutants, there are certain sanctioned mutants.
So are Ogrins the ones that are in like heavy G environments?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ogrins are humans that are born and raised in heavy gravity environments. They are big. They are an avalanche of muscle. They are strength 5. They are toughness 5. They have 6 wounds.
What?
Wait, no, that was the Ogren bodyguard. Nope, my bad. They have 3 wounds.
Still, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah,
No.
toughness 5.
Toughness 5, strength 5. 5 up save. These guys are brutal. So they have... They're just... They're offensive,
really-
they're offensive linesmen.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
beat sticks, man. I had a unit kill a Satan. Like, I don't underestimate Ogrins in this edition anymore.
Yeah, so they got a 3-up weapon skill. They're basically movable las cannons with 4 attacks.
Yeah.
Sorry, autocannons. So they have a choice. So they can either get a brute shield, which gives them a 4-up invul save, which I would always take,
Yeah.
or a slab shield, which is add 2 to the save rolls, which puts them to a 2-up save. I would always take the 4-up save.
Mm-hmm.
And you add +1 to the attacks if they successfully charge. So they're at 4 attacks each, at strength 7, AP -1, 2 damage.
Is that those mauls they have?
Yeah, the power balls. And these guys they look cool. The slab shield, man, they just look like awesome models. And like,
Really good kit, I gotta say.
Very good
Like, you
kit.
don't hear enough about this. It's a really smartly designed kit. Actually, no, you probably do hear enough about it, but I just want to call that out. Like, that... It's one of the like leading indicators when GW was like, we're doing multi-unit kits and we're gonna actually make them pretty different, like the 2 units that you can build out of this.
yeah, so you got the Ogrins and the Bulgrins. So the Ogrins have Ripper guns, which aren't as good as they used to be. They're still not bad. They're Assault 3, Strength 5, Damage 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
They pump out a bunch of shots, right?
Yeah. And they're also -1 AP in combat, so...
Because
Beasts.
you hit people with the guns.
I got a big old knife on them.
That's right. So yeah, Ogrins are cool.
They are cool. I played against a dude who had 3 units of them on the battlefield. They were really cool.
And they look like a blast of paint.
Hup, 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 hup. They look like hoplites. They got the shields out in front of them, and they like move up in the line. They're
Hoplites?
super cool. They're hoplites.
But more like, hup, 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 hup.
Yeah, and like there's a great story when they would about Nork Degdog, the like famous Ogren bodyguard, and how he was like assigned to guard a commissar, and like the piece of fiction that they had in his entry in like the 3rd edition one was like the commissar, the oh my god, so many stutters, the chimera that they were in blew up, so like the commissar's just like lying wounded, and he's like, Nork, I need you to go and get the med kit in the carrier. And he's just like laying there considering like his life, and he hears this like giant grinding noise, and Nork has just pulled the wreckage of the carrier, and he's like, I told you to get the med kit, not the carrier. He's like, oh, I got both. like that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So Adam, did you want to take us through something cool?
Yeah, so I kind of think, where'd he go? This dude's kind of fun. The Master of Ordnance. There's a power level 2 character, and you get an artillery barrage out of it. 100 inches, D6 shots, strength 8. It's a battle cannon that is a one shot. And then he also gives your Basilisks, Wyverns, Manticores, and Death Strikes, which are nasty units. The reroll. Yeah, reroll. There it is. Reroll ones to hit.
Thanks for coming in, Adam.
The units do have to be far away, but it's still a really cool ability. And he's so cheap, so just for that artillery barrage alone, like you're getting some value out of that. Like to double up with the Wyverns, which we talked about this before we started, like they're just so nasty, right? 46 shots, rerolling wounds, strength 4, right? And then you give him reroll once to hit too.
Yeah, it's just something like a Wyvern that doesn't need line of sight is pumping out crazy amounts of
14 shots.
14 shots on average.
Yeah.
Like it's so good to be able to reroll those ones. You're already rerolling your wounds because of the gun. It's just pure savagery.
Yeah.
It becomes butchery.
Speaking of pure savagery, just an honorable mention here. I think it's important to touch on the 9 Lords of War choices that are available to the Imperial Guard. My personal favorite, the ultimate phallic symbol, the Shadow Sword.
Tell me more about your phallic symbol.
So this is a Baneblade variant. It's 26 power level. It's strength 9, toughness 8, 26 wounds, 3 up save, armed with 1 volcano cannon.
Well, I mean, that's
I
sensible.
love my volcano cannons. But they've upgraded volcano cannons in the new codex. So in the index, a Shadow Sword's volcano cannon was 1d6.
Sensible.
Now it's 3d3.
Crazy.
Can reroll wounds when targeting Titanic units, and adds +1 when targeting Titanic units to its hit rolls.
I'm fine with that.
So now it's hitting on 3s. Yeah. And just a reminder, a volcano cannon is strength 16, AP -5, and 2d6 damage.
Like that 2d6 damage? Like, what is that? Like, what are you smoking?
I told you, like,
You're
there
hurting Adam's feelings.
when I did like 43 wounds to a knight.
It's
With mine, it's insane. Like, this thing should be 35 power level.
It's so
What's the
dirty.
power level on it?
26.
Not cool. Not cool.
And it doesn't suffer penalty to hit rolls for moving and firing heavy weapons.
Again, I'm cool with that. That's a fine rule. That weapon is just stupid.
Yeah. All super heavies should have that, and I don't have a problem with that.
Falchion doesn't. Just so you know.
Neither does Typhon, but...
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Hell, if you move with the Typhon, the gun goes
yeah.
at half range.
Yeah, it's already kind of a negative. Yeah, I just wanted to throw out the super heavy there, just for fun. So...
You guys want to move on, and we don't want to belabor units too much. How about we talk about a couple of stratagems?
Yeah. Because this is where you get the character that we were talking about before, right? Otherwise, they're pretty plain Jane, like they were in the index, and like they kind of have been in the past.
So we're just to point out, we're skipping doctrines because we did the math and we covered them all
Yeah.
already. So we're going to move into stratagems.
And yeah, like I think it's really cool to just throw out that just like Space Marines and just like Chaos and Mechanicum, these guys have regiment-specific ones. We'll be doing... No, I don't think I'm talking about any. But there are regiment-specific ones. So it's the codexes are following that trend as we expected.
So what's first? Stratagems?
Sure, yeah. I'll go ahead. My favorite stratagem is the fire on my position. This is 3 command points, which is a little pricey. And again, these command points need to be rebalanced because, to me, this is a 2 command point stratagem, and there's some that we're going to talk about in a bit that need to be like a 2 or 3 command point stratagem that are 1 command point stratagem.
Yeah,
But that's just what really grinds my gears.
There's no internal economy of command points when it comes to stratagems. I would just GW, if you're listening to this, and I know you are, you're a big fan. Just explain to me the thought process behind this, like the way that you say, like, oh, this is worth 2 command points, I guess, and does half the stuff that this Chaos one. And
oh, calm down.
I can't do it.
Especially after looking at this, you're going to harp on Chaos?
Well, you just no. This is going to be my new bugbear, but
So actually, I mean, and they have to do it army specific because it's so easy to fill a battalion slot with these guys.
Oh, it's so easy to fill a brigade.
Brigades, right? Yeah, like
You're pumping out 12 command points.
dude,
So-
I was messing around with building a list, and I accidentally made a brigade. Like, I accidentally did it.
And you still had 500 points left over.
Exactly. I was just like, I want to take that, I want to take that, I would want to take that. Oh, I got a brigade, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'll just run a brigade.
So this one's hilarious. This is it's 3 command points. You use this when the last model is killed from a unit that had a Voxcaster. Before you remove that unit, that model, the last model, you roll a d6 for each unit, not enemy unit within 3 inches of it. So you're putting out a 6-inch bubble. On a 4+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. For 3 command points, that should be d6 mortal wounds.
Yeah, it is pretty low.
And it should be automatic. I don't know.
No, pick one.
On a 4-up?
Either d6 on a 4-up or d3.
D6 on a 4-up.
Yeah. But, like, there you go. We did your work for you, G-dubs. But I love this one because if you're just, like, get Alpha Strike, you're just taking it in the shorts on, like, turn 1, I would pull this because you've got a glut of command points and you're just like, fine, you want to do this? We're doing it. And just rain down steaming hellfire on the units that made your day bad.
Can you take Voxcasters in Scions units?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Because it would be hilarious to drop them down.
Get
like
them
just
killed.
a couple of them, yeah. Drop them down, get a first turn charge off, and then just pop this thing out.
Oh my god.
You're a bad man.
You're a terrible person. So this is another fun one. I'm just going to do my last one. I'm just going to do 2 each.
Sure.
This is great. I love this one. This is so funny and it offers so many funny combinations. And this is something that's going to show up in the Orc Codex, I guarantee it. It's called Consolidate Squads. So you use the stratagem at the end of your movement phase. You choose an infantry squad from your army that is within 2 inches of another infantry squad from the same regiment. For 1 command point, they are now 1 squad. Kiss.
Make them kiss.
So you're literally putting, like, scions and conscripts together.
Oh, it's so dirty.
That's really fun.
You're adding bodies. You're adding wounds to that unit, man.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me.
I don't know how
Like
you deal
command
with.
squad into.
I don't know how you deal with mixed leadership, though. I guess you just use the highest.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah, you hide those 4 special weapons in that giant blob of conscripts.
He loves it.
I just thought that was funny. It's just like, you're with us now. I was like, I just want to go home.
We all do, Billy.
Because, like, when you fail a morale test, you're not dead. You're leaving.
It's such a funny idea. It's like, no. You're not going anywhere. You're coming with us. The one that I want to get into is just absolute savagery. So it's called Vengeance for Cadia, with an exclamation point. And you use this stratagem when you select one of your Militarum units to shoot or fire Overwatch. And now you can reroll all failed hits and wounds against a target that has the Chaos special rule. I love this. It's characterful, and it's the answer to Death to the False Emperor. Mm-hmm. At least spiritually for me. You know, makes me feel good in my heart of hearts. So yeah, I just think that that's a really cool one. Nick's shaking his head.
I'm shaking my head.
Why?
Because the Chaos one is 1 command point plus 1 to wound.
Plus 1 to wound is huge.
Not better than reroll wounds and reroll hits.
It is with... Well, no, it's not better.
But the Chaos one is against anybody.
Also, your Chaos one's against anybody. You're doing it with bolters. It's 1 command point. And also, I hate Chaos. So I like this one more.
Yeah.
This is where the economy of command points comes into play. Is like, if you're enhancing the effectiveness of a guard unit versus enhancing the effectiveness of a Space Marine unit.
Militarum Tempestus. You're literally talking about dudes that have AP -2 las guns and melta guns and plasma rifles.
Yeah, those guys could go to hell. Said it. If you're going to come at me, you better combat me.
Anyways, it's still only against Chaos, right?
Yeah.
And so it'll never be in the big tournaments. Like, people are never going to use that consistently. Except for that time where you're facing 7 demon princes and Magnus and 20 horrors, and so
the list we saw today, the Magtarion list.
Oh god, that thing! I don't even want to talk about it. I'll get sidetracked.
It was 4 demon princes, Magnus, Mortarion, 3 Nurglings, and 6 bloat drones. 4 bloat drones.
Yeah,
it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Right. So in that scenario, all the power to that guy to use this thing all day long, because that's the stupidest list I've ever heard of in my life, and Guard could never come up with something like that.
No. Then the other one I want to just call out, I love, is Grenadiers. Or Grenaders. And this...
It's Grenadiers.
Which one is
It's
it?
not Grenaders. There's an I in there.
I know, I'm having fun. Don't yuck my yum. Sorry, I'll cut that one out. JK, I won't. Yeah, so basically, in Overwatch or shooting, you get to, instead of one model being able to throw a grenade, 10 guys are able to throw a grenade.
Or 20.
No, it sticks it at up to 10 models.
Oh.
So it's...
No conscripts.
Right.
Okay, good.
Which is
still 10 crack grenades.
Yeah, it basically, sticking it at 10 is like, be reasonable in your greed. Because it's still throwing a ton of crack grenades or frag grenades. Like, that's really funny.
I love that.
That's a really funny one to get off.
How many command points is that?
Oh, that's 1.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. And that
beautiful.
feels like a 1, because what's the range on a grenade? 6 inches? 8 inches?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 1 command point, you're only going to do that once. Maybe twice. You could probably do it in your shooting phase and then get charged and do it again. But
I wouldn't spend a command point to do that for Overwatch.
no, not Overwatch. But if you've already got the...
But you could spend a command point to mix that one with the defensive gun. Oh, wait, no, that's for vehicles. Never mind.
Yeah,
Nope.
but you can do
Nope,
it at the
bad
same
idea,
time that you're doing Forcadia. Vengeance Forcadia. So you're re-rolling all your grenade hits and wounds. It's just so funny. It's just so funny, these guys. That feels like it should be 2 points. 10 guys throwing grenades, just being like, this is for Cadia, and this is for Johnny.
Go through the pin, not the grenade!
Oh, God.
We roll hits and wounds on that pin throw.
So, yeah, those are the 2 that I want to go over.
Cool. Alright, so I got 2. So I picked Vostroyans, because I have a Vostroyan already, so I'm very unlikely to play it ever again. But,
Man, get it out. Play it.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But so I'm interested, right? I'm reading the stuff, and I just like this. Firstborn Pride, use it at the start of the shooting phase, and you just add 1 to hit rolls, right? Fun.
So good.
Yeah. And then the other one that I picked was the Overlapping Fields of Fire, and I like this one. This is for Cadian, and it's 2 command points, but it's kind of a force multiplier, because if you can get this off, so if you do a unsaved wound to an enemy unit, then you can add 1 to the hit rolls for other Cadian units that are shooting that target.
That's super good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, you're just going, it's like that bring it down mentality, right? Bring it down, right? Just everybody just shoot.
Yeah, this is our job right now, is killing this thing.
Yeah. And so I just think that's really flavorful and kind of fun. So
yeah,
so good.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get back to you with some psychic powers and warlord traits.
Certainly.
So you know what a maelstrom is?
Yeah, it's just like a bad storm.
It's like the end of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
It's... Yeah.
Yep.
or it's when a dude plays a guitar.
This is a psychic maelstrom.
That took me a second. I hate you.
You're welcome.
Or it's when an employee of a post office plays the guitar.
Stop it. Stop it. It's the same joke, just worse.
So, new psychic power. Again, I don't know who's choosing warp charge values. This is ridiculous. So, this is warp charge value 7. You select an enemy unit within 18 inches of the psyker, roll a d6. On a 2-up, that unit suffers a mortal wound. Unless you don't inflict the wound, so unless you roll a 1, or the mortal wound is negated, you then roll another dice. This time, on a 3-up, the same enemy unit suffers another mortal wound. And so on and so on until you fail to cause a mortal wound or the enemy unit is destroyed.
That's so funny.
I like it.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That's so brutal.
Yeah. It technically have the potential to do 6, but it's highly unlikely.
Very.
You have to roll a 2 up, a 3 up, a 4 up, a 5 up,
A 6.
and a 6.
I like this. I think this is what Smite should be.
Yeah.
Smite is so easy to get off, and there's just a guarantee, and so it's so open to spamming it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's I just wanted to pick out a psychic power there.
Well, tell them about the automatically passing tests, because we talked about the commissar. And so
yes.
this is like a good way to
Yeah.
you kind of keep your commissar ability around, or still keep your conscripts alive, right?
So this is also crazy. So this is the lowest psychic power I've ever seen. This is warp charge value 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
So a friendly unit within 12 inches of a psyker, that unit automatically passes morale tests for 4 points.
Like, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's how you keep your conscripts alive.
It's not reactive though. Like, that's the one downside. You gotta anticipate that these guys are gonna eat it.
Yeah.
But
they are.
that's why you're playing this game, to
Guard-
get your dudes
they're
killed.
guardsmen.
Yeah.
They're going to die. So that's 2 psychic powers I wanted to briefly touch on. Yeah. There's some other good ones. There's like -1 to hit, +1 to armor saves, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to quickly talk about my favorite relic, which is the Tactical Auto Reliquary of Tiberius.
Give it to me again.
The Tactical Auto Reliquary of Tiberius.
God.
It's a good name.
It is.
So this is a servo skull that contains a psycho-circuitry matrix containing Lord Commander Lucilian Tiberius himself. And with it, his curmudgeonly attitude and overbearing personality.
I love it.
So any officer can take this. The moment the officer issues a command, the Tactical Auto Reliquary of Tiberius evaluates it and decides if it's good or bad. If he decides that it's bad, he chimes in on the Vox and gives the correct order. So when using this, any model with the... So this is Militarum Tempestus units only.
Okay.
When using the voice of command, this model can issue 1 additional order per turn.
That's really funny.
But you roll a dice before issuing this order. On a 1, nothing happens. I'd be okay with that for every order, to be truthful. But yeah, so that's my auto take relic.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't so much an auto take, but I really like it. It's the Iron Star of Mordian.
This is an auto take.
It's for the Mordian Iron Guard, and it's just a 4-up, feel no pain for your warlord. It's hilarious. This guy's just a bruiser now. Like, why wouldn't you ever not? What?
Yeah, 4-up is nasty.
Yeah,
It's really good.
it's 50% of the wounds.
5 up is crazy to deal with.
Especially the way Feel No Pain is now. Like, doesn't matter if the guns double your toughness. You're just saving it.
Yep, that I love it, and it is. There's something about it that feels very characterful. They've done a really good job in doing that with this codex. And then the other one that I want to touch on is the Emperor's Benediction, and this is a pistol that you give to your commissars or your commissar lords, and it's just AP -3, Strength 4, 2 damage, and a character killer. So you can target characters.
What's this called?
The Emperor's Benediction. So it's just I love all of those executioner pistols. I don't think that they're...
It's AP -1.
AP -1? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I wrote it down wrong. But still, -1 is good. And it's just really funny. It's a bad surprise. There's better ones in that list, and there are ones that would function with more of a force multiplier effect. But I just love the mean pistols to hide on somebody.
That's fair. What do you got, Adam?
Yeah, so so in my interest with how Vostroyans are at right now, I did think about it, but it's so bad. I can't talk about it. So I think this one's hilarious. The Dagger of Tuxa.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's Tusak, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a dagger that makes your dudes really good at infiltrating up the battlefield.
Sure, man.
Yeah. So
Shaka when the walls fell.
that's right. And so, like, this is a force multiplier type thing.
Darnak and Jihad at Tanagra.
Yeah, there you go.
We're such nerds. Oh my god.
I know it.
So the dude with this dagger gets to bring an infantry unit and basically deep strike them within 6 inches of a board edge, but 9 inches from the enemy, which is pretty fun.
So this is what I was talking about. This was FAQ'd. So only an infantry character can take this. So you can't give this to a tank commander
Oh, right.
and be like, tank commander.
Infiltrating up because of his dagger. He drives his tank really fast and sneaky.
Yep. Because that's out of the realm of possibility.
I think it's fun.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to warlord traits, I'm going to drop in with Old Grudges. This one's super good. So after deployment, but before the first battle round begins, choose a unit in your opponent's army. You can re-roll failed to wound rolls for Astra Militarum units from your army that target the unit while they're within 6 inches of your warlord.
Nice.
That's super good if you need to, like, kill a tank or a fire raptor. I pick things that I know will hurt me really bad.
I love, just one real quick thing. I love that the relics are called heirlooms because, like, you're gonna die. Bad news, Carsman. None of us are making it. Yeah, and like the one that I like is Bellowing Voice, and you just add 3 inches to the range of any abilities on your warlord's data sheet.
That's so good.
Yeah, and it's just I like that.
And that's voice of command too.
Yeah.
As you're giving orders at 9 inches. Yeah.
I just like that one a lot.
Again, the Vostroyan one is really bad. Which is unfortunate. Like, the Vostroyan stuff for your commander only helps your commander. And, like, when you're talking about an Imperial Guard commander, it's just not that valuable, right? Because you're not charging your commander up the battlefield and putting him in combat.
No one's ever been like, oh, that Imperial Guard character's headed right for me.
With that power fist, which is strength 6.
Yeah.
You know what I've got? Flamers.
So rerolling failed wounds is fun. Was that yours, Old Grudges?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Anyway.
Where have you been?
Dude, I was trying to, like, catch up. Did you say Master of Command? No.
Yeah.
You said... no, you said Bellowing Voice.
No, I'm just
That
messing
helps
with
your
you.
Master of Command. Yeah. Anyway, so Master of Command is pretty sweet because it lets you do an additional order, which is fabulous. So
Yep. Lots of orders. They're great. This has the potential to be the strongest codex. I played against the Guard in their index form and got blown off the table by turn 2.
Yep.
And this is way better.
Yeah, they're top tier right now.
I hope. Well, we'll see. They
Right now.
haven't had the chance to play in any big tournaments, so I don't know if they're top tier. They have the potential to be.
And especially with the comic stars getting changed, I think it will change the dynamic of how this army works.
So that means it's
Fun
time. Today we're going to talk about the history of the Imperium, tanks of old Terra. So, the Imperium, and indeed the Astra Militarum, has a long, grand history, an unbroken line of memory from the distant days of Terra to the modern era. So we're going to talk about the older predecessors of the Leman Russ today. So we're going to start off with the Tiger, spelled Tyger. So the Tiger tank was first seen in so-called Two World War. This conflict seems to have been notable for only featuring 2 planets, Terra and Venus.
No.
The Tiger is probably named after an animal of old Earth, in this case a 9-legged insectoid from the Indonesian bloc, bred as a beast of war. One early tank commander, Wilhelm Swordsworth, allegedly wrote war poetry about the prowess of this vehicle, but only fragments of his poems remain.
That's so funny. But it's not sword. It's okay. Sorry.
The Tiger was apparently a large battle tank for its time, but much smaller than a Baneblade, indicating the primitive nature of early Terran technology. For those of you who don't know, that was a German Mark I Tiger tank, end of World War II. Venus was not involved in that war.
No. Well, it depends on who you ask.
The inhabitants.
That's where the Nazis escaped to.
Yeah. Tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat.
So next we have the ubiquitous T-54 tank. So this tank was relatively rare, with only 100,000 of them being manufactured. Quick aside, this is the most manufactured tank in human history. Judging by the small size of its main armament, Mechanicum experts believe that this vehicle probably used a technology akin to a las cannon.
No, it didn't.
Nick, how did you become so creative?
As for what the T-54 stands for, the answer is obvious. T-54 was clearly an adept of the Mechanicum in the early days of Mars and discovered the STC for this vehicle, much as Arkan Land, Binaric praise upon his name, discovered the STC for the Land Raider and the Land Speeder.
Oh, man, no.
This is so funny. This is like, it's so awesome, and it's pretty
also
satirical too, like how we impose ourselves onto history.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, 100%. Because, like, it's all mistranslated.
We have this,
Yeah.
I think it was C.S. Lewis who called it chronological snobbery. Like, we just look back on history and we're just like, oh yeah, they didn't know anything.
Yep.
And we know everything now,
Yeah.
right?
That's fantastic.
And the final one we're going to talk about today is the Sherman tank. So while it superficially resembles Imperial designs, it has several disadvantages compared to the Lehman Russ. Sloped plating is likely to defect small arms munitions into nearby soldiers, while proving ineffective at dispersing las cannon fire. Also, attacking the enemy with a cavalry saber from the turret of the Sherman would be all but impossible due to its awkward position, even if the crew drove the officer very close. Similarly, field simulations suggest that the treads of the Sherman would quickly become clogged after running over even a small squad of Eldar Guardians. So, as you can see, the incorruptible form of the battle tank has been well in place for a millennium, and you can thank the tireless efforts of we, the servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus, for our labors in improving the issues of size, armament, and close combat efficiency of vehicles. And we will ensure that the machine spirits of modern tanks remain working even in the worst conditions. And then this article, and all articles titled The Histories of the Imperium series, and all writers involved have been terminated due to unforeseen circumstances.
So where'd you get this? Tell the people. So we're not totally plagiarizing.
This is from the Regimental Standard, which is required weekly reading for the modern guardsman.
It's real good. You should check it out.
This has been Inches and Cubes, episode 24.
Like a monkey in a rocket